beautiful, peaceful area?
Well, I usually start hawking here in early September. That's when the season opens. I usually get here about after Memorial Day. That's when I'm free. And I usually spend, depends a lot on the weather, but usually I'll hawk the whole season. I'll go home on weekends, but a lot of times I've stayed clear till the end of February, the 28th. It just depends on how bad the winter gets. If the winter gets too bad and it's just too much snow and you can't get around, I'll go home. And that happens, about 50% of the time I have to leave here in the middle of December. So, but it's certainly...
How many falcons do you have out here today, now?
I have 3 birds that I'm hunting and a 4th bird that I'm just working because it's a bird that I got from a breeding project, but I'm flying it but not hunting it. Hunting sage grouse is kind of risky because of the eagle factor. I don't want to have that bird get eaten, so I figured 3 birds is all you're supposed to use anyway, and so I've got my license full there. 3 Gyr peregrine tiercels, and then the Gyr is what I'm working and flying.
Cold all the time.
And you're out there hawking those grouse by yourself, and it's cold, and the threat of the eagles, and it's kind of can be a wild and somewhat threatening place sometimes when you're out in the middle of that desert in the winter here. And the temperatures are real cold, and you know that if you had car trouble, you could be in big trouble if you get stuck. Always carry a shovel in the winter when it's snowy.
Who's this guy, Steve?
This is Jomo, and he's the very first Gyr peregrine hybrid that I ever bred. And I decided I wanted to hunt grouse years ago, and everyone hunted them with great big birds, Gyr falcons and female hybrids, and I wanted to catch them with something small. Even though a 26-ounce bird's, a tough match for a 7-pound boomer, I just decided if I could develop his mind to where he could do it, and he does it very well now. And just an incredible bird. He's 12 years old. Has just learned how to do it, how to knock them down, and I get very few tail chases. He pretty much catches them all clean, but sometimes he knocks them down several times first. But great bird, and caught a lot of grouse, and probably he'll be a part of my life that I'll never forget. This segment of my life when I flew this bird for this long a time, because when he's gone, I don't know if I'll have the energy to ever train another one to get to this good, because he's like an old haggard peregrine that's been around a long time. He really knows how to do it. It's a long time getting a bird to have this kind of knowledge and skill.
So that working relationship between you, the bird, and the dog in an area like this, just something that's developed over a long period of time.
A long period of time in hunting, and just with all the things that can happen out here. You've heard hunting sage grouse. A lot of people won't even do it because of the eagle factor, and to keep a bird alive for 12 years hunting nothing but sage grouse with all the close encounters we've had with eagles. He's definitely had some real close encounters and had eagles steal grouse from him, and I've seen eagles try and take him off a grouse, and he's just barely avoided their talons just at the last second. He's a pretty seasoned hawk, but still, as old age comes on, if he starts to slow up at all, he'll fall victim to an eagle someday. But I hope not. But I couldn't think of a better way for him to go, having been a bird that had done so well all of his life. I'd rather see him die at the peak of his hunting, before he gets old. But generally, birds of prey don't get old. When they're old, they're gone. But I would be a sad day, but I would certainly not have any hard feelings toward the eagle, because I'm here, I'm doing it, and I understand the risks. See the trap? That's a cutthroat. I don't know who this guy is, but he looks a little bit like Groucho Marx. The big mustache and all. There you go, Wendy. And here's your reward, Jomo. There you go, buddy. Take it over and eat it. Look in his eye that's kind of like confident look, the look of a successful bird. Years ago I went into Rock Springs and I had a friend with me who was a pilot, and we rented an airplane. We flew all over this whole place for an entire day, crisscrossing it, finding where all the big flocks of grouse were. Went down, we located a lot of grouse from the airplane, and you can actually tell grouse tracks from the airplane. They look a lot like antelope tracks, but they're smaller, because they do the same pattern of feeding that antelope do. And when you drop low, though, you can tell that they're grouse tracks. And actually, if you get really low, you can actually see the grouse. And with an airplane coming low over them, they'll just get up, fly a little ways, and land. So we located several big wintering groups. Well, the next day was a terrible, terrible winter day, snowing and blowing. And I thought, well, I'm going to try and get out to this where I saw these one groups of grouse, because I knew I marked them from the highways, so I knew approximately the areas they were in. I was trying to get out to these things, and the dirt roads got to where I couldn't tell where the dirt roads were because the snow was so deep. I'm four-wheeling, and I'm trying to get out there, and I go, well, this road's drifted into, but I have to go around it, to get around it. I'm going along, and all of a sudden I got into a snowdrift, and I got stuck. And I was way out there past that Hayes Ranch, way out there, trying to get out to the tank, because that's where the grouse were wintering. And I couldn't, and it was like really bad. And
what time of day?
It was in the afternoon, and it was blowing, and it was getting worse. It was snowing, and it was blowing really hard. And I decided and the thing is, back then I was really dumb. I didn't come equipped with a shovel, and I was stuck in my four-wheel drive vehicle out there. And I was far, and I didn't have a cell phone, and I knew how far a walk it was to the highway. And I had contemplated whether I'd be able to make it or not. So I decided, well, I got two choices: either take off walking or try and dig this truck out. So I took the lid off. I decided I was going to dig the truck out. So I took the lid off my RB4 off and used it as a shovel. And I started digging under the front of the truck, and I dug, because it was the front that was stuck, and I dug, and I dug, and I laid under there, and I dug, and I cleared the snow out and laid under the truck and dug it out. Finally, I got the truck where I thought I could get it out, and I went to go and get it to the back, and the snow was drifting so bad. When I went around the back of the truck, I couldn't open the back of the truck because the snow drift was up over the back of the truck.
Oh no!
Yeah, and I thought, well, I got one chance, and that is to go forward and get out of here. And I was able to get the truck moving, and I got it out of there. And I'll tell you one thing, I start to recognize when the weather's bad here, and I decide, and you don't go out when it's bad like that.
Cold all the time.
And you're out there hawking those grouse by yourself, and it's cold, and the threat of the eagles, and it's can be a wild and somewhat threatening place sometimes when you're out in the middle of that desert in the winter here.